In a tiny principality nestled between mountains, not every dream became reality. From abandoned radio towers to stadium plans that fell through, Andorra has its own quiet failures. Let's uncover what never made it from paper to proof. Beneath the postcard scenery, there's a story of grand ambitions, projects that promise to reshape Andorra's identity. These are the spectral blueprints of a different Andorra, one that exists only in forgotten planning documents and the memories of those who dared to dream big. In these failures, we find a more telling truth about a place, the friction between aspiration and reality. High above Encamp, near the French border, stands the skeletal remains of a dream, the Sud radio transmitter on Pic Blanc. In the 1960s, Andorra's neutrality made it the perfect place for a powerful independent radio voice. Sud Radio aimed to beam its signal across Europe, bypassing French state control. The plan: build a colossal transmitter atop Pic Blanc, unmatched in power. Construction battled harsh weather and terrain at over 2,500 meters. But politics shifted, France grew wary, and Andorra was caught in the middle. Costs soared, investors hesitated, and the project stalled. The dream was abandoned, left to rust in the elements. Today, only fragments remain, a destination for hikers and urban explorers. The Sud radio transmitter stands as a lesson. Even the boldest dreams can be undone by shifting politics and time. And in their silence, they speak volumes. Football is a language spoken everywhere, and Andorra, despite its size, is no exception. The Dream, a national stadium for FC Andorra and the national team, a symbol of arrival on the European stage. Enter Borda Mateu Stadium, a modern UEFA-compliant venue, capacity 6,000, set in Encamp. Cosmos Holding, led by Gerard Pic, brought capital and celebrity, raising expectations. The project promised not just a pitch, but a commercial hub and community centerpiece. Local government initially supported the plan, seeing prestige and economic benefits, but in Andorra, land is precious and contentious. Community groups and opposition parties questioned the use of Borda Mateu. Was this the best use of land? What about environmental impact, traffic, noise? The stadium became a political football. As elections neared, support wavered. Bureaucratic hurdles mounted. The land deal stalled and enthusiasm faded. For some, the project symbolized outside influence and commercial overreach. Others saw lost opportunities for public housing or green space. Ultimately, the Encamp government withdrew support in 2022, citing lack of consensus. The grand vision was dead, only planning costs and lost opportunity remained. FC Andorra settled for renovating an existing stadium. The Borda Mateu site remains an empty field, a ghost of a stadium, echoing with cheers that never happened. This story reveals Andorra's caution. Community consensus outweighs celebrity investment. The lesson: in small nations, ambition must align with local values. The field stands as a silent reminder of the delicate balance between progress and preservation. Sometimes the biggest obstacle isn't money, it's the will of the people. And in Andorra, that will prove stronger than any blueprint. The stadium that never was is a lesson in ambition, identity, and the power of community. In the end, the only thing built was a story. And that story lingers long after the plans were shelved. Not all grand ambitions are made of steel and concrete. Some are cultural. In the early 2000s, Andorra dreamed of a national museum, theater, and archive, a cultural renaissance. The National Museum would showcase heritage, the theater would host productions, and the archive would safeguard history. But the 2008 financial crisis hit, and priorities shifted from culture to survival. By 2011, all three projects were indefinitely suspended. The plans gathered dust, discussed, but never revived in their original form. The absence of these institutions leaves a quiet void. Andorra's grand cultural stage never opened. The house lights remain dim. The story of Andorra's unbuilt cultural heart is a lesson in hope, loss, and the enduring power of dreams. The curtains never rose, but the longing for them remains. Our final story isn't about one project, but a wave, a bubble of ambition that burst. In the years before the 2008 financial crisis, Andorra aimed to become a luxury real estate haven, a Monaco in the mountains. Deregulation and open arms for foreign investment fueled a frenzy of high-end residential towers. Developers promised panoramic views, state-of-the-art amenities, and exclusive living for a global elite. The skyline was set to transform, with projects like La Torre and Escaldes Engordany leading the charge. For developers, it was a high-yield investment. For Andorra, a strategy for growth and prestige. Then, the global financial crisis hit. Credit dried up, and wealthy buyers vanished. Demand collapsed overnight. Many projects stalled or were abandoned mid-construction, leaving concrete skeletons across the landscape. The failure was systemic, a collective miscalculation of endless demand. The government faced criticism for fueling the bubble, and the banking sector was exposed as vulnerable. Some towers were eventually finished by new investors, others remain unfinished, stark reminders of the crash. These are the most visible ghosts of Andorra's failed ambitions. The story is a cautionary tale. Chasing speculative wealth can distort an economy and leave deep scars. The burst bubble forced Andorra to rethink its reliance on foreign capital and global market whims. Today, the landscape is a mix of success and failure, modern towers beside empty plots. Walking through Escaldes Engordany, you see the echoes of that era everywhere. The lesson collective dreams, fueled by speculation, can sour quickly. Picking up the pieces means finding a more sustainable path forward. Andorra's skyline is a testament to both ambition and restraint. The unfinished towers are monuments to dreams that outpaced reality. In their shadow, Andorra seeks a new balance. The ghosts of speculation linger, shaping the future as much as the past. Looking back at these projects, the silent radio tower, the unbuilt stadium, the suspended museums, and the skeletal high-rises, paints a complex portrait of Andorra. Each failure is a lesson about the limits of technology, the importance of community, the fragility of culture, and the perils of speculation. These aren't just stories of failure, but of choices and paths not taken. The ghosts of these megaprojects serve as silent advisors, reminding Andorra of the costs of unchecked ambition. Every country has its own blueprints for a future that never arrived. They are universal monuments to human aspiration and fallibility. Have you seen grand projects in your country that never happened? Share your stories in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe.